Genesis 2, Abraham and Isaac, a story of unwavering promise. The book of Genesis, chapter 2, Abraham and Isaac marks a crucial turning point in the flow of the Old Testament. The narrative dramatically narrows its focus from the history of the whole world to the history of a single family. The essence of this video is not just a biography of great figures, but a demonstration of a God who keeps his promises even in impossible circumstances. Following the Tower of Babel incident, humanity was scattered. People turned away from God, and the world seemed to be once again covered in idols and sin. But God did not abandon humanity. God set a new strategy to save the world. He chose one person to build a great nation through him and to bless all humanity through that nation. Our main characters today are the first in this grand plan, Abraham, whom we call the father of faith, and his son Isaac. Part 1. Leave and go to the land I will show you the call. Abraham was originally a resident of the prosperous city of Ur of the Chaldeans. His father Terah was an idol maker. One day, the voice of God came to Abraham, an old man of 75, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you." Genesis 12:1. This was a tremendous venture. In those days, leaving your homeland could mean a dangerous journey, even death. The destination was not even disclosed. It was simply the command to go. "I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing." Genesis 12:2. Abraham packed his bags, holding on to this promise alone. This moment, deciding to trust not the visible reality, but the invisible promise of God, is the beginning of what the Bible calls faith. Part 2. Waiting and mistakes the covenant. However, arriving in the land of Canaan did not immediately bring blessings. They had to flee to Egypt because of a famine, and Abraham even showed cowardice by claiming his wife was his sister. The biggest problem was the lack of children. How could God make him a great nation when he had no son? God took the anxious Abraham outside. "Look up at the sky and count the stars. If indeed you can count them, so shall your offspring be." Genesis 15:5. At this time, Abraham was old, and his wife Sarah was barren. It was humanly impossible, but Abraham trusted God. The Bible records this moment as very significant. Abram believed the Lord, and he credited it to him as righteousness. Genesis 15:6. But the wait was long. Ultimately, they made a human mistake, resulting in the birth of Ishmael through the servant Hagar. Nevertheless, God, despite human mistakes, visited Abraham again at the age of 99 and said, "You will have a son at this time next year." And so, at the age of 100, a miracle son was born, Isaac Laughter. Part 3. The ultimate test on Mount Moriah, Jehovah-Jireh. When Isaac had grown into a young boy, God gave Abraham an incomprehensible command: "Take your son, your only son whom you love, Isaac, and offer him as a burnt offering sacrifice." A son obtained after waiting until he was 100 years old, only to be commanded to kill him? Abraham walked for 3 days to Mount Moriah. He believed that if God had given the promised child, he would raise him from the dead even if he killed him. Just as Abraham raised the knife to slay Isaac, the urgent voice of God was heard. "Abraham, stop. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me." Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught by its horns in a thicket. He sacrificed the ram instead of Isaac. Abraham called that place Jehovah-Jireh, the Lord will provide. So Abraham called that place, the Lord will provide. And to this day it is said, "On the mountain of the Lord it will be provided." Genesis 22:14. Does this scene sound familiar to you? The father ready to sacrifice his beloved son, and the lamb prepared instead of death. The Mount Moriah incident was a foreshadowing, a shadow, showing in advance the cross of Jesus Christ, who was to come. Part 4. Isaac, the man of quiet obedience. After Abraham's death, the promise continued through his son, Isaac. Isaac had fewer dramatic events than his father, but he was a man of gentleness and patience. When the Philistines quarreled and took his wells, he didn't fight. He moved on and dug new wells elsewhere. At that time, a well was literally a lifeline. When he yielded again and again, God, in turn, blessed him with vast land and 100-fold harvest. Isaac quietly obeyed, serving as the bridge that inherited his father's faith. Conclusion: God keeps his promises. Abraham, the 75-year-old wanderer who left his homeland, and his son Isaac, who inherited his faith. They lived their lives in tents like sojourners, but God, as promised, made them wealthy and established them as the ancestors of the faith. God became the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac. And now that promise passes on to Isaac's son, Jacob. But the next main character is not so simple. Jacob, the greedy man born grasping his brother's heel. Will God use even a trickster like him? Find out the dramatic twist in the next video, Genesis 3, Jacob and Joseph. This has been God Whisper. Please subscribe and like. It's a huge encouragement for making more videos.